Hello, everyone. I am Matt Williamson. What is going on at Williamson NFL? It has been too long. I apologize, but hey, we got to take vacations. Having done with those, it is officially in season for me. You can tell I probably sound a little goofy because I'm in the tiniest dorm room of all time that is just all cement and terrible acoustics. And my apologies, but that's what it's going to be like when I'm at camp. It's my only spot to do it. And yes, I am in Latrobe. I am at St. Vincent's, and I am very happy about that. Don't get me wrong. And happy to be talking to you. The time away was great, but time to get into it, and the Steelers absolutely are. So, as I often do, pull back the curtain. I have watched the first 3 practices now. They just ended of the acclimation period of camp here. And so that means that they're not doing serious hitting. They're not totally padded, but they're revving it up a little bit more and more. And I just want to talk about a couple new guys, seeing them in person, and it's pretty much all good. I think you're going to like what you hear about these players. And then we're going to talk about the Chuck Clark signing too. I'm going to try to come at you basically every day. I'm on the air from 2 to 5. Then I grab a wonderful free dinner. That's another nice perk of camp. And then I'm probably going to come back to the room around that time, chat with you guys, and then do more work. So I wanted to start with DK Metcalf. So I threw the stat on Twitter the other day. He averaged 8.7 targets per game with 4 games of 99 or more yards and 3 touchdowns through the first 7 games last year before injuring his MCL in week 7. So let me say that again. He injured his MCL in week 7. But before that, he was averaging 8.7 yards per game, had scored 3 touchdowns, and had 4 99 receiving yard games at that point, or more, 99 yards or more, which was his career best pace. Now, he missed a couple of games with that MCL, and when he returned, he was not near that. He was not near those numbers. Now, if you watch the tape before and after week 7, he's a much different player before. He was healthy, And the other extenuating circumstance is if you pay attention to the Seahawks at all, they drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. Their protection in O-line was pretty horrific, to be honest with you. So downfield passing really dried up too as the season went on. And to his credit, Jackson Smith-Njigba really stepped up as well and demanded a lot of targets. He became the number 1. Now, that doesn't mean Metcalf is the 2 and a terrible player. He's just a lot different, and his style of play didn't mesh well with their protection, and he wasn't healthy. Where I'm going with this, though, is watching this guy live. He looks like the pre-injury guy from last year. And seeing him in person, I urge you to come out here if you can, is pretty jaw-dropping. Like, the physicality is obvious. The size is obvious. But his movement skills are really good. And obviously the book coming out of college was, this guy can't change directions. He's, kind of a one-trick pony, straight line stuff. I don't see that much. I mean, he's not Antonio Brown, but like plant your foot in slants. I mean, things like that, really, really good. But the acceleration is what stands out to me. Aaron Rodgers hit him in stride a couple days ago. Hit perfectly thrown ball, perfectly timed route, in stride. Bill Walsh would have been proud. And at the catch, he took 2 strides that were extremely powerful, extremely long, and just pulled away. I mean, like, put it in 5th gear. Whoa. Burned up the turf. And I was like, wow. I mean, it was some wow stuff. And he is a wow player. So really good reports there. And again, remember, these are not bang you around stuff. And we're going to talk some O-line, D-line. I just want to make sure you realize that these practices to this point are not overly physical. They are limited to some degree. One of your newest Steelers, Ramsey, also is a wow player. And he is doing everything. He is playing safety. He's playing slot. He's playing outside. This screams to me, like I told you, I think they're going to vary their coverages a lot more this year, which makes me happy. they're doing a lot more late rotations at the snap, and he's capable of handling all that stuff. He made a pick today on Aaron Rodgers where he came out of nowhere and just burst to the football, ball skills, boom. Goes right to the jugs machine after practice. Very professional approach. You feel his presence out there. He's big. He's menacing for a defensive back. Very, very impressive to watch him in person. So those two, exactly what you want to see. Again, it's only July 26th here. We got a lot to go. Can they withstand the rigors of everything? Who knows? But the first round pick, Harmon, is also really impressive. His get off is really good. His body, I think, has changed a little. I think you guys might remember I thought he was kind of a little bit of a top heavy player. I think he's working on that. His hand usage, he seems like he's in the backfield a lot. Now, again, the O-line is a little bit of a disadvantage. Well, they're in a clear disadvantage under these current circumstances because they can't come off the ball and just mash people. But my biggest takeaway probably from camp at this point is this D-line all the way across, Watt, Highsmith, and everyone in between, as I've been telling you guys, I think is the best in the league. And dominating is a word that gets thrown around too much because, again, the O-line's at a disadvantage. But they are causing major problems in the backfield quickly. In Rodgers' face, batting down passes, winning off the edge. They're winning across the board. Now, let's say this because my first podcast from training camp. When there's good, there's bad. So is it we're worried about the O-line? Well, they are at a disadvantage. But yes, that's not great. Or are we psyched about what I think is the best D-line in the league? Well, that part I think is 100% true. But they are winning with a lot of consistency and are very disruptive as much as they can be under these circumstances. So the first round pick looks like he's fitting in. The big time receiver acquisition, wow. The big time defensive back acquisition, wow. So all real good stuff from those newcomers. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. Updated odds on MLB, UFC, and boxing to tennis and NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino for all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. As mentioned, I am recording this Saturday dinner time. Yesterday being Friday, the Steelers signed Chuck Clark, safety. And like an hour after he put pen to paper, he was on the field. And funny little note, I'm sure this was a Tomlin thing or a Rodgers thing, but the first time he walked on the practice field as a Pittsburgh Steeler, they threw a bomb at him deep down the middle of the field, and he broke it up. I'm sure that was a, hey, we know you're here, type of thing, which I enjoyed. You probably remember him as a Raven. I had a lot of respect for him as a Raven. Physical, tone setter. He isn't young, of course. He's been around the block. He has had some injury stuff, including a torn pec on New Year's Eve, the last day of the calendar year. So I assume, he is back. He's on the field. So I guess that's all behind him. But I'm sure that didn't help. Of course, it did not help his free agency availability to other teams. I'm sure it took a while for that to mend. No reason to think it hasn't. He's a bigger bodied guy, over 200 pounds, long arms, is not a speed demon out of Virginia Tech. He's smart. He's versatile. He'll come up and stick you. He's a good tackler. Most of his career with the Ravens, pretty darn successful stint. And with the Jets, those last 2 years, not as good. Does that mean he's done? I bet not, but who knows? We shall see. I have not seen the contract, but I'm sure it's a minimal investment. He was only making $2 million his last year in New York, so it's probably in that neighborhood. But we've known that they've needed a safety. Julian Blackmon had signed with the Saints, so he was off the market. I hadn't even considered Clark. I mean, probably should have. That's probably just an oversight by me. And I thought because of the injury, I think that's why he was kind of out of sight, out of mind. But back to what we were talking about with Ramsey. I don't think, and it's part of the reason Minkah was part of the trade, as I suspected. I don't think they want a true free safety, true strong safety, middle of the field guy only. And this Clark acquisition indicates the same thing to me. So in his career, he's almost played equal snaps in the box as opposed to a true free safety. 1,750 versus 1,871. So basically 50-50 in terms of playing in the box versus single high. And I would say he's equally good at both, but I'd say I'd prefer in the box if you made me choose, because he is a physical, pretty take-on guy. And speed isn't great, but he does read things well, doesn't take a lot of false steps in the third level. And he's also played 672 snaps in the slot. Now, I don't want him matching up on the shifty Wes Welkers. I don't want him running one-on-one down the middle of the field with Jamar Chase out of the slot. Hopefully that's a Ramsey responsibility. But he definitely can do battle with Mark Andrews as a slot or a Jonnu Smith-like tight end or other receivers as well with help. So he is slot capable. He'll play the run well near the line of scrimmage. He's not bashful. He can blitz a little bit, smart, veteran. So I think it's a nice addition. Again, low risk. You needed another safety body. As I like to do with you guys, reading the tea leaves of these defensive back moves, it's become pretty obvious that you're going to see a lot less static, boring, single high cover three. They're varying things up quite a bit. So again, I mean, feel like, hey, maybe we know what we're talking about in this. In the offseason, we talked about things that needed addressed or changed or considered. I think they're absolutely doing that. And just wanted to focus on these changes today as I give you my first podcast from camp. But psyched to be at it now full time. There you have it. All right, everyone. Take care.